Hey guys, what's up? Caleb Downing with SDI, and today here's a little, not really a data dump, but an interesting factoid that I was able to actually come out and test. So we're talking about weather and its effect on projectiles. Let's get into it real quick. All right, so what we got right here, this is a Broad River Tactical radio delayed blowback SD system. We've talked about this before. I've made videos about this stuff before. Really cool system. Takes your supersonic ammo, dummies it down to subsonic, and you join that up with the suppressor that fits over everything, right, and traps those gases. It makes it very quiet. Makes the system a very quiet system, and it should, like I said earlier, take those subsonic or those supersonic projectiles and make them subsonic. The guy that made this, Chris Allen, right? Christopher Allen, yes, over there at Broad River Tactical. He's down in the lower 48. So when he tested and developed and worked all this stuff, even the people with the suppressors, they're down in the lower 48. When they tested and developed all this stuff, they're not up in really, really cold climates. They're not. And so if they made a system that worked perfectly, that takes your 124 grain, 115 grain ammo, and dummied it down to 900 feet per second or 950 feet per second. That's basically what they did. And then when I got those systems and I brought them up here to Alaska and I shot this exact same setup, I believe it was the exact same setup, back in March, I was getting an average velocity, let me pull the numbers up real quick, I was getting an average velocity of 932.5 feet per second. That was a 10-round string, literally about 100 yards from where I'm standing right now, but this was back in March. I don't remember the exact temperature at the time, but it would have been anywhere between the teens and below freezing. So it was below freezing, whatever it was. Snow all over the ground. I don't remember the humidity content, whatever, or the humidity levels. But today, I brought the same system back out, same ammo, ran the same thing, 10 rounds, and I was getting an average of 912.5 feet per second. That's about right at 20 feet per second slower velocities in this warmer air. Because right now it's about 60, 62 degrees, give or take a few degrees. So that's about 40 to 50 degrees warmer, and I'm getting about 20 feet per second slower velocities. So it just goes to show you, if you're playing around with these systems that dummy down supersonic ammo, or really if you're just nerding out on ballistics, and you're really trying to get ballistics, this could really play a big deal if you're hunting and you're training at lower altitudes and you go try to shoot something at higher altitudes. You need to know there is going to be a measurable and noticeable change in your velocities, whether that be in altitude or really in temperature. You could zero your gun during the summertime, right? And then you go out to go hunt in the fall and there's that temperature shift. Well, if you zeroed at 100-degree temperatures in the summer and you go out and try to shoot a deer at 32 degrees, you know, in the fall or in the winter, depending on your range, that velocity could really affect the ballistics and how that bullet travels through the air. That's ballistics. It really can affect that. So in this case, it affected things to where now it sounds even nicer in this warmer air, right? Those bullets are going slower and the system's working better. And so now I'm getting much more pleasant tones out of the firearm because those bullets are not moving as fast as they were back in March whenever I shot this the other time. So sorry for the weird technical babble, but for those that really nerd out on this stuff, I think you'd appreciate this. This is something to note, something to be interesting, especially if you're hunters and if you're like actual competitive shooters, right, and long range kind of stuff. And if you are, you already know all this stuff. So really this is for the people that probably didn't know because they never paid attention. If you don't bring chronographs out and you don't pay attention to what the weather is and what it's doing to your actual ballistics. But it's interesting and it's worth noting. So anyway, Caleb Downing at SDI. Hope you found that interesting. I think it's interesting. Hope you found it helpful. Maybe it will help you out. Maybe it won't. Maybe now you know why your gun shoots different in the winter than it does in the summer. It's temperature. Maybe that's all it is to it. Anyway, y'all be good, be safe. Appreciate you, and hopefully we'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.